being a creative saved my life. You know, like gave me joy and like bring it up so much, you know. But
hi everyone, I'm Apshy.
Hi everyone, I'm Juanda.
And welcome to the Woke Up Show. Thank you so much, Juan, for talking to me today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This is amazing.
I'm so excited. This
Me
is
too.
like, you're like our first international guest
on
the Woke Up Show.
I'm so blush.
So for those of you who don't know, Juan is like, he's amazing. Director, producer, stylist, creative director, content creation producer.
Content creator, yeah, slash producer.
That's
yeah,
producer.
That's what
amazing.
I do.
If you haven't checked out his like social media, you have to. The videos are
thank you.
amazing. The lighting, the music, all of it. But before we get into your job, I wanted to ask you, because you live in New York right now, right? And you're from Colombia?
I am from Colombia, yeah.
And so what was it like moving from Colombia to New York?
Well, if I may say, like, I think it was my dream, right? Like, I fly for the first time to New York back in 2018. I just went for like vacations, but I kind of fell in love with the city and I made some friends and I was just like in the vibe of the city and like my mindset just changed. Like suddenly, one moment to another, I was obsessed with the idea of like being in that city.
Yeah.
So that was my first approach. And then in 2020, when COVID starts and everything, my university went online.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm just gonna jump. I'm just gonna like just go and like see if I can feel myself there first, have friends, meeting people. But yeah, so the whole idea of going to New York was a dream.
Yeah.
And so when I changed, it wasn't like that changing. It was, actually, I was adjusting to like go there because it was the place I wanted to be. It's kind of crazy, but I really focus on that.
Yeah, I get that. Even when I went to live in New York as well, I also had that dream. I just want to live in New York. I want to be in that energy. I wanted to become an adult in New York, and I did, and it was so fun.
So fun.
There's nothing like New York.
It's crazy because New York is like, these buildings is, I mean, it's beautiful, but at the end, I think like what makes it beautiful is the people. Yeah. And like the reason why everyone goes to New York is because they just want to be themselves. Yeah. And nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody gives a fuck. And like, you just go there and do your life and live your dream without any attachment, right?
Yeah, and there's also the energy there. There's something about New York, like that's what I always said, that you will never feel like you're in the center of everything, like anywhere else. Yeah. Like I've been like to London, LA, Paris, all that, amazing cities. I actually don't like LA at all, but like, but New York is like, it's alive.
Yeah, I think like what makes it New York is because like it's a city built by immigrants, but not just that. It's a city built by immigrants and also like people from America, but people that they just want to be there so bad and they want to do their dream there and like do something with their lives. Yeah. That the energy, it's about like this coming to action energy. The hustle energy. Yeah. So it's like, and not just that, the sharing and the
Sorry guys, we're at the farm and there are dogs at this farm, okay?
So basically this hustle energy, right? But then it's also like this sharing and like help, like if people it's allowed to like help you because they were
in your shoes.
They were in your shoes before, and everyone puts yourself in your shoes too. So it's like somebody just want to help you and like, hey, I got you. Start from something. I got you this contact. I got you this, blah, blah, blah. So like, just move. That's why the city, I think, is successful.
Yeah, completely. I think it's one of the few places in the world people are willing to put up with tiny apartments that have cockroaches, that have this, that have that, to be there.
To be there. Yeah, it's just to be there. And everyone is like, why you live there? Well, and I mean, I want space too. I want so many things, but then what I get in New York, it's like, it's just not, I'm not going to compare it. Yeah, 100%. It's not the same.
How is it like? What's Colombia like?
Well, Colombia, Colombia is a very happy country. We celebrate our culture by dancing. I like to talk about this because we really dance all the time. It's kind of funny. It's like here, but yeah, people is just all the time dancing, sharing, like laughing, and that's like the good part of Colombia. I mean, I made to say that Colombia it's a very Americanized country too. Like you get to see the influence over, like, I grew up watching Hollywood movies. I grew up hearing like
American music.
And I kind of started speaking English in Colombia too. So everything comes from that. It's not like a huge cultural difference. I guess the cultural difference is maybe like when you're in Colombia, you just get to share from people from Colombia. It's not like there's not much diversity. There's not much like, and also you get to see the same things, right? So
it's smaller.
Being in Colombia is beautiful. It's a comfort zone. It's a very hard country too, to be able to success and like just to grow. It's like, again, it's not the same. And I guess what I was looking to New York, it's like this opportunity to grow. In Colombia, it seems the same all the time, unless you have money. You know?
Same in Malaysia. It's like, I love this country, but it's like you can grow to here, but in New York, you can grow like this much.
Just your dreams become bigger. That's my thing. It's like, you have dreams, you have this and you have that, but then like when you go there, it's like, wow, I can actually think the most silly stuff, and you never know, you know. And
it can just come to life.
So
I want to like talk about your style. But were you always stylish like this?
Okay, so my style, I like also to share this story because it's very interesting. So my grandmother, she has a manufacturing company. She's been doing dresses, and she's a fashion designer. So I've been growing up in this energy my whole life. Like I remember when I was a kid and I was just sleeping on the fabrics on my grandmother's thing, on the tables, with the cutting tables and everything. That was my childhood was developed. But I wasn't so stylish back then. I mean, I was a kid, and then I was like growing up, so it wasn't like that much over there. But at some point, I started looking up, like, I started modeling. When I started modeling, right? So I started seeing all these people, my friends that were
How old were you?
I was 19 years old.
So
I started modeling, but back then it's still like basic looks, you know? And then I started seeing the influences of the people that it was just like taking a risk or like doing something different. So they want to say something with their style, right? So everything mixed up in a moment when I was like, no, I need to do a stop. I think I just want to improve this, right? So I started working with my grandmother to create clothes I feel inspired to wear. So she actually was the one that made like the first approach to like the clothes I'm wearing right now, and she make all my clothes. Actually, I still wearing her clothes, and I'm still actually ask her for like make me more and blah blah blah. So everything starts from her and her influence over me, and also my influence over the world as I was like growing up. So yeah, I mean, my style is very me. I think like at the beginning, I was looking references, but with time, my eyes just like see something they like and they put it together. But I never felt like, right now, I never feel like really influenced by external factors. I mean, I like fashion, so you kind of see like things that going on, and like you just take what you want. But at this point, I think it's very me. It says like, I think you can just see me dress, and it's like, oh yeah, this guy's kind of like fluid and vibing, and like he probably don't care too much. And, like, you know.
I think it's also it's like so nice to hear that like your grandma was like one of the early influences, because like your style, like you do gender bend a little bit with what you wear and all of that, and you kind of need somebody like to support you from young to feel comfortable to do that now.
Yeah, definitely my mom, my grandmother were the biggest influences of my life. They support me in everything, every single thing I was like crazy to do, or like I want to do this, I want to this dress. Sometimes I like to wear like skirts or like stuff like that, and they're like, done. You want it, you got it. And it's like, yeah, it's so good.
It's so good.
So I always have that. I mean, I feel very like privileged in that way because I get to just say what I want and I kind of got it.
Yeah.
It was the expression of myself, but I feel like one thing is like want something and the other thing is actually have it, and the only difference is like your support system.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that like it's so important. If not, like you wouldn't be this confident, vibrant person. You would feel the need, and a lot of people in Malaysia feel like that. You'd feel the need to hide. Like you can't just be you.
Yeah. That's why the support system is so important, because them is just people that it's like, go, do your thing, be happy. Like that changed everything. Unless like, you know, like the difference of like living in a family where it's like a judgment all the time, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And you just block yourself.
Yeah. So like, how did you get your, like, when you moved to New York, what was like the first jobs you started getting? Like what kind of brought you, because now you've done so many things, and now you're here being more of a creative director, more of a director of like hopefully movies down the line.
Yeah.
How did it come to this point?
Okay, wow, it's like it's been a lot. I think the first thing I would say is like I was a lawyer. I mean, I studied law for almost 5 years.
Oh my God.
I actually finished. Yeah, I'm a lawyer. So yeah, that was the first thing I did. It really helps me a lot to like open my brain to like have very difficult situations
and
where
to be
I need
disciplined.
to like, I need to be disciplined. I need to like, just like get it done, like make it happen, you know, like that's how my brain works right now as a producer, you see? But okay, let's go back to the lawyer, you know? So the lawyer, blah, 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 I was in this law school. I was so unhappy. Oh my God, like you can't imagine. I was so unhappy. But, and also my dad was overprotecting me all the time. So he never gave me money, like not at all. So his overprotection like tool was like, I don't give you anything, so you don't go out, you don't see anyone, you just stay at home. Like it was kind of bad, but I love him. Anyway, so that happens, and I was like, okay, I need to make money, right? This is back in Colombia. And I need to make money. I started like working in restaurants. So that's what I started doing, like a lot of stuff. But then somebody discovered me and I started modeling.
Okay.
My modeling career was so beautiful. Like it was the opening ceremony to my creative side, to actually was the first time I actually think I was creative. And not because I was modeling, it's because I was like seeing all these influences again, like of the people that is just doing what they love, what they wanted. And like,
this is the farm life.
Farm life. And just by seeing this, like, I think like the best part of like being a model was to get to work with people that do what they love.
Yeah.
So that was the first moment when I was like, I need to be a creative, because I feel, and I'm gonna tell you this later too, but being a creative saved my life. You know, like gave me joy and like bring it up so much, you know. But okay, this is modeling, right? And this is all connected because my first approach to New York was like, I was looking for agencies to work around the world, because I was like, I mean, I have all this like hustling vibe, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I need to like go explore the world, doing things, blah, blah, blah. So I like start looking agencies around the world. And I get to go to Next Models one time in New York. And that was like my first approach. When I was there, again, I started making contacts, I do a lot of stuff. But I think at some point in my life, I was looking for something more. So that was, this is my whole process is like, I get to love something and then I'm like, I can't anymore, and it's always the same. So back in the modeling, I was like, I need to do more with this. And so that's when I started doing content creation and I become an influencer. So I become an influencer because in the pandemic, everything was shut down.
Yeah.
And I was seeing my friends that they were already influencers and they were just receiving and doing campaigns at home.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to get shit for free.
Yes.
I need it. Yeah. So what I do, it was like, okay, what am I good at? I was good at being a model. So I basically just started doing professional content, like modeling content on my Instagram. And by professional, I'm like my sister taking photos of me. But you know what is funny? So when I was doing these shots and these like sets and everything, I was like the creative behind my shoots. So you see like how everything starts connecting. So I was doing.
You were conceptualizing.
I was conceptualizing. I was looking at mood boards. I was looking everything, creating a storyboard, everything, just because I need it, and it's all about the necessity of doing something, right? So like when I get there, doing like content with my sister, blah, blah, everything started blowing up. Like this model, blah, blah, blah. So actually my model career going like when I create content, because I was letting know the people that I was not just like a model or whatever. I was creating a concept and I was showing myself in many ways that they just get to see like me more, and my modeling career going like to really success. I was one of like the most like, you know, models in Colombia, blah, blah, blah. So I just get to go anywhere, all the fashion weeks, all the stuff and everything. And bueno, I get to New York by my first approach looking for an agency, right? But I was also an influencer. So like all this stuff kind of like start building like an image of me doing things, right? When I was doing influencing stuff, Instagram started changing like crazy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, algorithms and stuff, and like what we all suffer right now.
We're all slaves to the algorithm.
Slaves to the algorithms. That's when it starts.
Yeah.
So I was doing this content that was actually really well done, but it wasn't saying anything really. I mean, it does, but that's not how the app was perceiving it. So I was like, okay, I need to change it. I like fashion. I have all this like, back in that time I was already like doing like fashion stuff with my grandmother and like doing this stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do fashion influencing things. So I was like doing outfits, and I started talking with brands to like create like collaborations and stuff. So I became this fashion influencer. When I was being a fashion influencer, it was really fun. It was really cool. I get to do amazing things in my life. I think like being fashion influencer, or just the fact of put myself out in a creative way, it was the best marketing of my life. Yeah. So when I got this best marketing, like I was out there, blah, 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 I get to do like, I was producing my own shoots, but also I was producing my own videos. And then I was like doing all this stuff that create this like image of like this creative guy that is like doing and doing and doing. And like, I don't know, like more people start calling me and like, hey, can you dress me? Hey, can you do this for me? Blah, blah, blah. And that's when I get to styling. So styling was something really fun, because I really don't know how to do it. Like I was always looking for a mentor. I need a mentor. I want to, you know, like, I don't know how to do this. I really don't know. And in that searching for a mentor, never happened. I never get to like meet someone that wants to teach me, I guess.
Oh my God, I feel the same.
But you know what? I guess I could, but also my energy wasn't going to that too.
But I think that like, even I have the same thought. Like I want to be somebody's bitch. Like we spoke about this yesterday, and it's like, we want to maybe have that, but maybe that's not our path. Like maybe we can do it on our own, but we're like afraid, or we just like, it's like a crutch. Like to have a mentor, to have somebody to say, can you tell me what I'm doing is okay?
Yeah, you know what? This is the lie of the traditional school mentor vibe, that you have to go to university, you need to learn from someone.
Exactly.
And it's all these things like, but at the end it's kind of not. If you like just put yourself out and do it,
just do it.
Learn.
Yeah.
That's it. And you learn by doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so it happens.
So you were in the styling.
The styling, yeah. So I was looking for this mentor, but suddenly my friend, one of my best friends, he was like, I want to do a production company. I was like, how are we gonna do this? I don't know. Let's do editorials. I was like, fine. I do styling, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna try. So it was very funny, because in this process of doing this editorial, it was the first editorial I did with this kind of famous girl in New York. It was funny. I really don't know how to do it. I thought because she was famous, the brands were like lending me clothes, but that wasn't the way. You have to submit a letter to a magazine. You have to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then the showrooms can give you all this. I learned it in the way. Like nobody told me. I was like, how am I going to do this? I mean, I start asking people at the end, but yeah, it was all by the God's sake of doing. And like it happened. And this editorial happened. And it was beautiful. I learned so much. I started having clients, working as a stylist. And then, again, as I was putting myself out, a lot of people start seeing me as like, you know, like, who's this guy? What is he doing? What is he doing all this stuff? Like, he was an influencer, but now he's like publishing on covers. So it's like, it was like a very good, like, influenced by people, and it was just like a snowball, and everything was just growing up. And then I felt myself like unhappy again. And it was very sad because I mean, I've been telling you, this has been like a long story, because it's been like from this, from that, to that, to that, to that, to that. And I was like, why am I so unhappy? And I realized I was unhappy because maybe styling was something I have passion for, but it wasn't my work, because the ideal is fun, but actually of doing it wasn't like the way I want to express my creativity.
100%. Like, you can love something, but the minute you're trying to make money out of it, it's really hard to maintain the love, because it's all the little details. You have to send the letter, you have to get the this, you have to do it. When you style a client, they're not necessarily going to want to, you have to kind of bend to them.
Yeah, and you have to be their psychologist. So it's like, I can
imagine.
No. And we're learning that my service mindset is kind of like busted.
Same.
Yeah, I'm like, I really don't want to understand your style. Like and it was, I mean, I think it's fine, you know.
Yeah.
It's honest to just not want
and I think because you are good at styling yourself, it means you're good at your style. Like, people, you can't bend to somebody else's style.
Yeah. And it gets a lot because you have this creative side where you just want to explore and do things, but then like somebody's like, no. And it's not their fault. It's not your fault. It's just like, it's not just
that's
not my
how
work.
it is. Yeah,
and it's not my work.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I found it. So it was funny because back in that time, somebody, like a guy, a friend of mine, he wants to do an editorial, but it was very fun because he offered me the cover, the June cover for Paper Magazine. That was the Pride cover for Paper Magazine.
Yeah.
So he offered it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm like so happy. This is like full creation, full artist, blah blah blah. In that time, I never get to do it because Paper shut down.
What?
Yeah, Paper shut down, and like, you remember that?
Yeah.
So they shut down and everything, but it was very fun because I met this guy, my future mentor in a way. So he approached me to do the cover, and right away, he approached me. So but then also they have a party that night. So I was like, oh wow, why you just guys don't come to my place, like a pregame or something, and I could also show you all my ideas about this, because I went back to my place, created this whole mood board, this whole story, everything like I used to do it, and I bring all these guys that are supposed to work with me in this cover, right? They come and like they see everything I did, and they were like, when you do this, like, I was like, I don't know, I just sit the whole afternoon just doing it, and they were pretty impressed. But I didn't like, I just did it because I was having fun.
Yeah.
But that like turned on something else, because these people like see me as like as a logic guy, or like, you know, like putting things together in a way that make it something, and I basically organized their whole thing. So it was very fun because I have this producer mindset. You see, something else like rise out of it, and I get to know my mentor. His name is KK Sanders. He's been working for years in the fashion industry. He's a videographer and a director, and he just discovered me in that time. He kind of like approached me like, oh, can you do my social media videos? Can you do blah blah blah? But I was in like, okay, yeah, I mean, I'll help you. I'll just do it. I love to create. I love to do social medias. You also tape me, I tape you, and we just do this together, right? So I met this guy, and that was the same time when I was feeling unhappy doing styling, because I have all these clients that were super in their minds, you know, like every time I try to do something, it was like, I was just like not happy doing it.
I guess it's like doing it for clients versus like if you do it for a shoot, then it's like they kind of have to wear what you tell them to wear. But if it's a client, they can say, no,
No, and they're not gonna like it because again, we're different worlds, and that's fine. But I was very unhappy. But at the same time, so I was doing videos for this guy, just have fun, blah blah blah, and super unhappy in this side. So I shared with this guy like, hey, I'm super sad. I think I feel depressed because I feel like I've been jumping and jumping and jumping in things, and I don't like anything. And this is very sad. Like, what am I gonna do? Am I really gonna find who I am, or like what I want to do in life? Like, it was very hard. Because one thing is going to New York, but you remember that movie of Nemo when the fishes go to the ocean and then you're like, now what?
Yeah.
This is what you feel. Like, it's really that. Because it's like, you have the whole city for you. This was your dream. And then you get there. It's so big. So like,
you have to go for it. And sometimes it's like, it's really scary.
And it's a huge, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know what I'm doing. Like, I feel like a clown right now. But it was good.
Clownfish.
Clownfish, yeah. Yeah, Nemo. But so when you get there, like, I get to tell my actual mentor right now. I was like, I'm happy, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, babe, but you do a lot of videos. Like, you don't like to do video? Or, and I was like, yeah, no, I do love to. I was doing my own videos for my social media. I was doing his videos for my social media. I was doing videos for my clients that they would just pay me for styling and not for the videos. It was kind of hard to, also the payment stuff and everything was really bad. So I was like, yeah, I love video. I love video actually. And he was like, okay, you have the talent. You probably don't know how to like maybe use the camera right now, like some stuff like technical stuff that they can just like be learned with time. So I started working with my actual boss and mentor, KK Sanders. That's his name. Hi, KK.
Hi, KK.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna see this. So KK basically has been teaching me all I know about like camera gear, but not about just like the creative process. And used to like do these videos, and now yeah, I'm like basically producing or let's say like things for clients and like all the production company how it's been working. And now working video. I do short film for now. Like that's what we do. I do fashion campaigns. So basically it's like 30-second, 15-second, 1 minute, the most like videos. But in this whole story I've been telling you, it's funny because again, you just have to be there ready for the opportunities, right? Yeah. So I met this girl in the way. She at the beginning, again, she just come from my social media. So you see all the dots. So she comes from my social media because she wants to like just shoot me. And then in the way we were doing this interview with her about the definition of success, like red definition of success and everything. And she was like seeing the way I was like working in my life and everything. And she kind of like fell in love with the idea of like this character I was developing through the years. And she one day was like, I've been building my company for a couple of years now. It's going really good. You want to be my executive producer in New York?
Oh my God.
And I was like, yeah. Yeah, definitely I want to do it. But I told her, I can be your executive producer, but I want to be in the creative side. I want to direct. I want to do this. I feel like just the fact of being every single position in the production gives me a lot of like wings to fly around what it could be direct. Yeah. So now I'm learning, still learning, but I hope soon I'm gonna start directing my first videos, and I hope
movie soon.
And movie soon, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's so inspiring, Juan.
Wow, it was a lot.
I mean, it was. I knew it was going to be a journey because I knew you had so many jobs. But just to hear how like you just kind of went with it, like I'm really inspired because when I left New York, like I was just so like depressed after uni because I was like, it's not gonna happen, and I just left. And then it took me a few years to kind of come to the place where like I have to make it happen. Like nobody's gonna make it happen for you, and it's like amazing to hear that you kind of started with that attitude, like I'm gonna make it happen. Whatever it is, and one led to another. You're like, I like to do this. I'm going to keep doing it on my own, and then I'm going to help the clients as well. and all of it will just come naturally.
Yeah, and we get to sit yesterday, and I was telling you, like, I'm seeing you, like, you're building this whole, like, I mean, this is amazing. Like, in the place where we are right now, you guys probably don't see the whole structure, but it's amazing.
There's a lot going on behind
there's
here.
a lot going on right now. Like, I see the lights, I see everything is so well done, so well think. Like, my mind is like, I see this lens, I see, like, that's why I'm like, everywhere, just seeing the gears and everything. Is like, you building this, and it's so amazing. And you have what it takes. I think, like, the last thing is believe that you can make a lot of profit out of this.
Yeah.
Because at the end, that's what all we need. But it's just like, how you're gonna pitch your next client, how you're gonna do this, blah blah blah. And you know what? Market yourself. Yeah.
I think that's like a wall I had for a long time. Is that, like, I just want to be, like, quiet and let everything speak for itself. But, like, it is me. All of it is me. So I have to kind of also let myself be out there as well.
Yeah, and you have what it takes. Again, like, this is not a normal setup. You actually are really good at what you're doing.
Thank
you. It's so amazing. I just see the amount of work and, like, approach that you have to your things. So I'm really impressed. Like, wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, we let them reset the camera. Just nice. Oh, you did it. Perfect. Okay, so, okay, now let's talk about your love life. Are you open talking about that?
Yeah, my love life. Let's do it.
So now you're married. Meow meow.
Meow meow. He's somewhere.
Juan is married to Andrew, who is my friend and obviously his husband. So tell me about your love story.
Oh, wow, this is drama.
But drama that, like, everything, like, you just one step to another, everything works out so perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, in this whole process of, like, this whole story, New York, blah, 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 let me tell you a story, people. When you tell this story and when you tell, like, when people ask me about my work and how, I mean, I'm just going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But in the middle of that, there's so much shit. And one of it is, like, my love story has an important situation in all my also professional path. Because I never had papers to, like, just work in New York, or, like, just to be able to just do these things. I never have a family that supports me. I basically just have to, like, I mean, I also did work in, like, caterings and, like, restaurants and all this kind of stuff in the middle. I just never get to talk about these things because I guess I just, like, erased it from my thing because I was kind of unhappy too. So I just get to work about my process and my path.
Yeah.
But I think it's also really good to talk about these things because also it's part
I mean,
of you.
You are a whole person.
Yeah.
The work is one part of you.
Yeah. And we never get to say those things. So it's really good that I remember that. But basically in this whole thing, I was living with my friend. So I was in New York, right? I was just in my visa, tourist visa. And I was going all the time to New York. I was working in this restaurant, like a catering company. And I was living in Columbus Circle.
Oh, I used to live there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Columbus Circle. So Andrew was doing a staycation. You know what is a staycation?
Yeah.
Well, a staycation is basically when you rent a hotel in the city you live, right? So he likes to do that because for his birthday, he got an staycation in the Plaza Hotel.
Oh my God, Andrew, fancy.
Super fancy. It was actually a pretty nice room. It was like a room with 2 bedrooms.
Oh my God.
I know.
He went all out.
He went all out. I mean, he told me the story after. It was just like a promotion or something they get. But yeah, it was super fancy, super cute. And we found each other on Grindr. It was a hookup.
Hey.
And I mean, this is whole story because he was still with his last partner, but they have an open relationship. And we just get to know yourselves. And actually, I met back then the same day. I mean, I'm just gonna say it, whatever.
We can censor the name.
Yeah. And basically, yeah, we actually, the 3 of us met at the same time, and I kind of like start falling in love with Andrew. I left in New York like 1 week after, and we're still like in contact. And you know, like one thing brought to another, and to us to be together, they couldn't be together anymore, and you know the whole process, right? So I like to talk about this because I feel like in this process and all this stuff, like things like this happen all the time. And if you actually see famous people life, it's like everyone broke up, like everyone, and everyone changed, and everyone like. So I like to talk about these things because that's life, and we need to understand that life is not black and white, and like they have all these great points, and like I'm not gonna talk about their relationship, but they probably have their complications, and like, you know, so we don't know actually how it's there. So we cannot reduce everything to like, oh, this guy changed this guy for another. Like you don't know what was happening there. You know, you don't know if they have anything going on, or you don't, you know. So it's a lot about that.
And I think also with like open relationships, you do run the risk of falling for somebody else. Yeah,
we do. We do a lot, even though like. Get rid of like all the drama and everything. Like Andrew and I, we just developed this beautiful relationship to each other. He fly to Colombia to live with me just because I couldn't be so much in New York because of my visa. I couldn't like use it that much, so I was like, I'm not gonna risk my visa. I'm just gonna like. So I went back to Colombia and I was working there. I was fine. I was modeling, so I was good with that. So. He fly over.
Wait, you definitely seem like someone who could be happy wherever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you'll just make it work.
I'll make it work. Yeah, definitely. Like I think what it drives me is more my creativity and like my work is my fulfillment too.
Yeah.
So I would be in New York. It doesn't matter when, I think, but. It was more about my work and like what I was doing back then.
Sorry, I interrupted you. So Andrew came to Colombia?
Yeah, no. So he came to Colombia. We get to live there. And at some point he was like, he wants to go back to New York. But he doesn't want to go back to New York without me. And we were all these like conversations about like, okay, what we should do. And he was like, let's be together. I want to be with you. I want to live with you. I want to spend my life with you. So let's do this. Let's get married. Let's get married. We do it like sooner than a lot of people, but I think like the most beautiful thing is like when you want to be with someone, you just be. You just be with that person, and then you have to do things, and like maybe this is legal stuff that we just have to work on. But yeah, that opened me the doors to like work in New York and doing all the things I'm doing right now. Nobody gives me anything, but he gives me the chance to just be myself as a person that can just do whatever this person can to just like develop himself. So he just gave me an open door to have the same opportunity as another person in America. So that was his gift. And I love that. And I think it was really beautiful of him to just like, don't think about it, let's do it.
Let's get married.
And he said something really beautiful at some point. He was like, if our relationship doesn't work, I'm just gonna be happy that I help you to do this. And I'm just gonna keep helping you to keep working on this till the last day we need to. So yeah, that's my husband, that's Andrew. He's a really nice guy.
I mean, you guys are so loving. Like,
yeah, no, we are. So it's like, it's actually becoming really good. And it's growing up and it's going really well. So yeah. It's been a happy developing. I'm not gonna say ending, but
no, yeah, it's growing.
It's growing.
Yeah. And how old are you, Juan?
I'm 25.
25. What's it like being married so young?
Wow, a lot of people ask me this stuff.
You know, nowadays people marry like in their mid-30s.
Yeah, like, and they get but I'm seeing all these relationships that they've been like forever. Like, I have so much friends that have been like 10 years together, 5 years together, and all this thing. And like, oh, you guys are gonna get married? Oh no, never.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's and you know what? Being married is like having a boyfriend in this century. Like people just get divorced. You know?
Facts.
Yeah, like everyone gets divorced. Like I really I don't really think why that would be an issue. I mean, I signed up a prenup. You can be in love, but you're not stupid.
No, I mean, I completely agree. I would also do the same because it's not about like I don't love you and it's being logical.
Yeah, it's just logic, it's facts. Let's just do this. We're not gonna know how it's gonna be our mindset when we're getting divorced.
Yeah.
So let's just sign this contract. We know what we want. We know what we're getting out. Yeah, it's logic, and it's a very good logic.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
You think for love, but then
love is like, I guess that we want it to be enough, but I don't think like in reality of this world, it's not enough.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's like logic.
I struggle with that myself.
Yeah.
How does it feel being in Malaysia now? Like, you know how it is here, like, you know, it's like very not so nice to the queer community. It's very underground. I mean, some of that is cool, but it's also like, I mean, like, even being married here wouldn't be recognized in this country. Like, how does it, like, how do you think about it? Because I looked up Colombia, and Colombia is like really, they're
they're
free.
really open. Actually, Colombia is one of the most open countries for LGBT community in the world. They have, in the legal terms, they're like really good too.
Yeah.
We can marry, we can have access to everything.
Yeah.
It's equal as like
as a straight couple,
person and like everything. So yeah, there's not issue at all. Actually, the people is very open to it. And like things like tourists and everything, there's like LGBT tourists, there's like, you know, like, and in the country itself, develop programs to bring more LGBT community to the country.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and also to promote the economy, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
that too.
But you really need to be smart about these things. And like when you get open about like this stuff, you just help yourself if you really think about it.
No, I always say that like our country is suppressing so much art and creativity, because as much as like a lot of boring straight people don't want to admit it, like so much of the art in this world is from the queer community. So many of the things we love is like supported by the queer community. I mean, look at the, just like even in Malaysia with all these icons, all the singers and all that, 100%, they're stylists, they're hairdressers, they're makeup artists, all of that, they're queer. Like, and so the community is holding everybody up, but if you don't want to acknowledge it, like what's going to happen? They're going to leave.
Yeah, they're going to leave. That's the whole thing. It's like, yeah, you get like probably very talented people here, but if they don't feel it themselves, they're just gonna go to places like New York where they're gonna feel themselves.
Thailand.
Oh,
Thailand is so like LGBT friendly. Like the Prime Minister walked in the gay pride parade. Amazing.
No, I know, and it's like again, like I was telling you, it's just like it's about common sense. It's like when you when you basically promote like freedom, equality, and all this kind of stuff, you just kind of like vanish yourself for all these blocks and actually get to action and doing something.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. But like back to the question, like being in Malaysia, you know what? Malaysia looks like Colombia. Like the environment, if you put the same like setup and everything in a house with like trees behind and like even the grass is the same grass. It's amazing. You don't have this grass in America. I never see it. Yeah, it's like the trees, I mean, you kind of see different fruits, but it's the same. I mean, we're in the tropical, so there's a lot of things that they're kind of the same. So it reminds me a lot to Colombia, to be honest. The only difference is like you get to see like Asian people here. And you have South American people there. Yeah. But to be honest, it's like beautifully like looking almost the same. I don't get to like maybe I mean we're gonna hang out later in the city, but I don't get to see a lot.
You haven't seen the city yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen the city. But I really want to, and I do love to learn about like cultures and stuff. Like I heard the mosque here, and it was like how they sing. But actually, I was in the plane, and in Qatar Airways, so they have like entertainment, music, blah blah blah, and then they have like the Quran. Yeah. So it's like, and I was hearing it, and I was like, oh wow, these people is like singing for me. Yeah. So I was like, everything has something beautiful out of it. Yeah, yeah. So 100%. I just get to see all this stuff and like. Yeah. You know, I like it.
Definitely. Definitely. I always like wondered if like Southeast Asia is similar to like South America, because like in terms of like climate and all that. And I always say like Mexican food and like Indian food specifically, there is so much overlap, and it's because of the spices, like the cumin, the chili and all of that. So I wondered like how similar it'd be. Like it's like my goal to like travel all across South America. I just haven't had the chance.
Yeah, no. I think that you should just do it. You're gonna have a really sense of like what I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be like, oh wow, I'm like in a tropical forest, just like in the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And it's the same.
Yeah, and I think that like in terms of culture as well, of course, like Latin America is like so much more open, like in like even in the way they dress and all of that. Like I love it. Like I love it so much. Like here it's really a bit more conservative, but there's a lot of the family values, and I think there's like a base of it that is super similar.
Yeah. Family values, like the families are all together. Everything is about like
the collective community culture.
Yeah. For example, you don't have that in America.
Oh no.
And I actually get to fight a lot that with Andrew, because it's like I spoke with Andrew, like I'm gonna bring my family to stay in an apartment, and he's like, oh, why they just don't get a hotel? And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
they cannot afford a hotel in New York. It's like so much money, and I mean, do all we know about, like, first of all, New York is the most expensive city in the world, but second of all, the exchange is so much. Like here, actually, I was checking the exchange between Malaysia and America. It's like 5 times more. It's the same in Colombia. It's like you cannot possibly afford, unless you're rich, for a hotel. So yeah, I'm gonna bring my whole family in my apartment, and we're gonna sleep in the floor if it's necessary, but I'm not gonna let them spend 100%. That kind of money where they can just do it for themselves, like get a nice gift or like something, things that they just want to spend the money on. And like you
wouldn't even like, at least even for us, you don't even have to ask. Like if your family's coming, you're obviously staying at my house.
You're obviously staying in my house. That's the sense of community I'm like spoken, and like I wish he was here because he was there around, but whatever. But it's like I do fight this a lot because I'm not gonna change my mindset about like how it's important for me bring my family to my house. Also because I like it. Yeah. It's not even about the money. It's not even about anything. It's just like, you know what? I support you. I have you back. Just come.
I love that. And I like how like I'm sure it's the same in Colombia. Like for me, it's even with friends. Like I'm going to go to London soon, and I texted my friends like, can I stay with you guys? They're like, you don't even have to ask. And I'm like, yeah, because you would never have to ask if you came here either. Like, and I just love that. I think that that's so beautiful, and I feel like America could use a little bit of that.
We can. Yeah, in America, I guess this is like maybe not in New York. In New York, because there's people from everywhere, you kind of like see that more. Like, just always crashing in couches and like all this stuff, and there's all these apps to like really crash in couches and like. But when you get to talk about like someone from America, it's this like horrible answer like, well, they just don't look up for a hotel and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I get really off about that. Like it's not, and I'm never gonna change it. And for most that like Andrew or like somebody else from America really tells me about it, I'm gonna stand up in this as like, this is not gonna change.
No. All right, so we're down to our last question.
Okay.
So now you're smack in the middle of your 20s, right? 5 more years to go to 30. What's a big goal you want to achieve for your 30?
I want an Oscar.
Oh my God, you're gonna get it. I'm not even like, I don't even have a doubt.
Yeah, I want to do my first movie. I think like, actually we're like talking with some investors, and like some things are going on in LA to be able to develop a movie. I don't know if this is gonna be the movie, but I have actually like I'm very proud of like this product that we're doing right now with this new production company that we have in Colombia.
So exciting.
So I think it's gonna be pretty amazing. The other day I was in this therapy, and I found out that my creativity was driven by attention. And my whole life I was judging myself because I was craving for attention. But then I did this whole like thing in my mind where I was like, if my creativity is driven by this and I want to have an award, and this is going to be the way I'm going to like, like pushing myself to do something and create, I'm just going to do it. And I'm going to be 100%. Really happy about it.
And you know what, Juan? Like this is something like, I heard like Emily Ratajkowski, she said it's just, because a lot of people tell her she's like showing her body for attention. And then she was in an interview and she just turned and looked in the camera and she said, and what's wrong with wanting attention? And I think people are ashamed to admit we all love attention.
Yeah, we love it. And, But it was crazy how I was ashamed about, like, because people just come to me for the way I look and blah, blah, blah. But I know we're getting a lot into this, but you know what? Show yourself, be happy, and don't care about what the other says.
Seriously.
Seriously, it's blocking you.
It's gonna dim your shine, and you deserve to shine. If you are shiny, you're like fucking yourself by not even trying.
This is gonna help to our video, actually.
Yes, exactly.
We're doing a video together.
It's gonna come out soon.
Yeah.
All right, that's all today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Juan. I loved it. And everybody watching, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Stay safe and stay woke.
Bye-bye.